Spending time in nature by watching a sunset, gazing at the ocean or mountains, sitting in a park, escaping to the countryside or a nature retreat, or even just spending a few minutes staring out the window, provides us with the opportunity to rest, reflect, and restore our very selves. You likely noticed this phenomenon before. Have you ever been having a rough day or feeling down, but found yourself pleasantly distracted by a beautiful scene? I'm guessing you have at least one story of nature improving your state of mind. This common experience demonstrates nature's valuable role in our lives and hints at another potential role, contributing to overcoming mental fatigue and improving our ability to focus and direct our attention effectively. In this video, we will be covering the attention restoration theory, the restoration in environmental psychology, the 4 states of attention, the key components characterizing a restorative environment, and finally, the restorative benefits of nature. So stay tuned, and let's dive into it. In a nutshell, the attention restoration theory, or ART, proposes that exposure to nature is not only enjoyable, but can also help us improve our focus and ability to concentrate. This theory was developed and popularized by Stephen and Rachel Kaplan in the late 1980s and early 1990s, a time period characterized by rapid technological advancement and ever-increasing indoor entertainment. As people, and especially children, spend more and more time inside, concerns about the lack of time in nature grew. ART hypothesizes that nature has the capacity to renew attention after exerting mental energy, for instance, after spending sleepless nights studying for exams or working tirelessly on a project or assignment. Restoration is a popular topic within environmental psychology, a field of psychology that intertwines with environmental disciplines to explore the dynamic connections between individuals and their surroundings. One important interaction between individuals and the environment is the restoration of our attention, our energy, and ourselves by experiencing or viewing nature. Interest in the subject has only been increasing as we spend more of our time indoors and less time out in natural environments. As the pace of life gets faster and busier, environmental psychologists are on the lookout for ways that we can incorporate more restoration into our lives. To that end, experts have researched and laid out some guidelines and information to help us understand how to take advantage of the opportunity nature provides for restoration. Stephen and Rachel Kaplan propose that there are 4 cognitive states, or states of attention, along the way to restoration. The first stage is characterized by a clearing of the mind. In this stage, the thoughts, concerns, worries, and residual bits of information from whatever was demanding one's attention are allowed to pass through the mind and fade away. This is not achieved by pushing the thoughts away, but by simply letting them flow through and out of the mind naturally. In the second stage, the real restoration begins. After a task or activity that requires focused and directed attention, it is easy to feel depleted and drained. The mental fatigue recovery stage allows the directed attention to recover and be restored to normal levels. The third stage allows the individual to be gently distracted and engaged in a low-stimulation activity, which reduces the internal noise and provides a quiet internal space to relax. In the final stage, evoked by spending a long period of time in an environment that meets all 4 of the requirements of a restorative environment, the individual is able to relax, restore their attention, and reflect on their life, priorities, actions, and goals. The final stage is the deepest and most restorative stage. This is where the most impactful restoration takes place. Now that we know the general process of restoration, we can move on to what makes an environment restorative, and how do we know if an environment will help us restore, relax, and rejuvenate. According to ART, there are 4 key components that characterize a restorative environment. The first component is being away, which refers to the sense of being separate and apart from one's usual thoughts and concerns. An individual does not have to be physically away to satisfy this component, but it can certainly be helpful. To be away is to be psychologically detached from your present worries and demands, and distracted from the environment that is draining your attention and energy. The fascination component of ART involves one's attention being held without any effort expended. In other words, restorative environments hold your attention without you having to focus or direct it a certain way. There are two kinds of fascination according to Kaplan. The first is hard fascination, when your attention is held by a highly stimulating activity. Such activities generally do not provide the opportunity to reflect or introspect, since you are completely absorbed. And the second is soft fascination, when your attention is held by a less active or stimulating activity. Such activities generally provide the opportunity to reflect and introspect. Both types of fascination can contribute to greater restoration, although soft fascination features reflection and allows sense-making, while hard fascination is more likely to entertain and reduce boredom. The extent component refers to the quality of restorative environments that encourages you to feel totally immersed and engaged. It means that the environment does not have any unusual or unexpected features, and you feel comfortable and at ease in the environment. An environment must be at least somewhat familiar and coherent in order for it to be restorative. In this context, familiar does not necessarily mean you have been to the exact environment before, only that it is similar enough to places you have been that you are not feeling uncomfortable, confused, or out of place. Finally, the compatibility component is all about feeling enjoyment and congruence in your environment. To be restorative, an environment must be one in which the individual chooses to be out of intrinsic motivation and personal preference. If you are there for extrinsic or external reasons, you are not likely to experience restoration. Compatibility is higher when you are engaging in an activity that is familiar to you. However, when you are engaging in a novel activity and learning a new skill or set of skills, you are unlikely to feel relaxed and restored. Kaplan also notes 6 other dimensions or aspects of compatibility. The environment should not be distracting because it is highly stimulating, but because it requires little effort to sink into. A restorative environment does not require the individual to search for information to make sense of it. The individual should already have all the information needed to understand and enjoy the environment. The environment cannot be dangerous in any sense of the word, whether physically or due to fear of looking foolish or acting inappropriately. The individual should not feel drawn to the environment out of a sense of duty or responsibility, but out of a desire for enjoyment and restoration. The individual should not be experiencing a discrepancy between the task they are doing and their true feelings about it. The environment must not be one in which individuals need to prepare or anticipate difficult situations to navigate. As we noted earlier, natural environments have the capacity to restore your attention, improve your performance on tasks, and improve your resistance to and recovery from stressful life events. However, there are even more restorative benefits of nature. For example, a view of a natural setting outside your window can help you make a speedier recovery with fewer drugs required than a view of a built environment. Simply experiencing nature sights and sounds, even artificially through paintings and recordings, allowed patients to get through a flexible bronchoscopy with less pain. Viewing videos of scenic beauty significantly reduces pain and anxiety in burn victims. People in an aged care facility who were exposed to nature for 1 hour per week experienced improved attention compared to elderly people who remained indoors. Young adult residents with a view of nature from their home outperformed those who lived in an inner city on tests of attentional capacity and were less likely to show aggression. Employees who could view nature from their window reported fewer physical ailments and greater job satisfaction than those without a nature view. Finally, if you enjoyed the video, then definitely like and share the link with your friends. If you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more content like this.